This is the setup. I got my KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to use both the paddle and the hook. My digital postal scale, which isn't the best, but who cares. I keep this in the freezer. Safe instant yeast, bread flour, and salt. And I measure with the scale because, why? Because that's what all the books tell you to do. Frankly, I don't think it matters. I shouldn't say that. I don't think it matters once you know what the dough is supposed to look like. I do 500 grams, 15 grams of salt, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. Right, that's it. I start with the paddle, mix it up a little. Water is the magic ingredient because it's going to be different for everyone. You got to that's why I'm going to do the video so you can see the dough. I use about 490 grams of water, even though the recipe for this ciabatta says 450. Where I live, my flour is, for lack of a better word, dry. All right, here we go. Start with the paddle, but it's going to get really wet. Once everything's mixed, then you turn it off. Not on. Turn it off and let it rest for 10 minutes. Okay, now that it's set for 10 minutes, I'm going to turn it on to about 6. Then it's going to mix for it just depends on the temperature of the house and the water, and we're listening for a sound and we're looking for the dough to crawl up the paddle. While it mixes, I'm going to... This is the progress of it. Hopefully you can see it. The dough is definitely getting elastic looking. Okay, it's coming up. You see it coming up there? See how it came right up the paddle? And if I didn't turn it off, it would crawl right up the paddle and into the mixer. So that's when you switch to the hook. With the paddle, that was mixing for about 7 minutes. Now I lock it. The hook also makes it jump around more. I'm going to turn it up to 8. And then when the dough clears the bowl, you go for another minute and then it's done. You can kind of see the dough is pulling away a little bit. And when it totally pulls away, it's done. This is about 3 minutes into it. And this is what the dough looks like. You can see that it's coming from cleaner from the side, but we're not done yet. So I just stand here and read my paper. Okay, another minute more and it looks like this. Okay, it's done. See what happens if I let go of my mixer? I have my hand on it the whole time. Okay, I'm done. It is still super wet. If you get your hands wet, the dough doesn't stick to your hands as much. I pour it. And it will come out if you just have the patience. For the most part. Bonk. Okay, see? Put a cover on this. And it has to triple. How do we know where it's warm in my house? We find where the Vishla is laying. Yes, there's the heat register, and this is where I put my dough. I know, it's queer. But it works! Right, Buzz? That's why you lay there. It's now noon. I made the dough at, oh my gosh, probably 9. Let's see. Oh dear. That's not so bad. All right, as you can see, this is really sticky. You don't really ever touch it. It's so wet. And that's what gives it all its bubbles. So I'm dusting the countertop really well. This is the dough. It's really, really bubbly and loose. Now I'm going to pour it out. Oh, see, it kind of released. This big mass of dough. Again, generously flour. You can divide it up however you want. We are bread fiends, so typically make 2 loaves. And this is just going to really stick. If you don't have a dough scraper like this, good luck. What we're doing here is just kind of shaping it into into the loaves that they're gonna be. I'm just kind of pooching out some of the bubbles. Because if you don't do that, those bubbles get too big in your dough. So that's kind of the loaf that I'm gonna have. It's gonna rise. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this guy. Dust them really good. And I'm gonna cover them up with a plastic bag. Let them rise for, I don't know, about half an hour. Loosely cover this up. That's it. Pretty high tech, huh? All right, 45 minutes later, I'll be back. It's my third day in a row of white chicken chili. I'm not sorry. I love it. I put my dough onto parchment paper. I have it just sitting on this cutting board so that when I put it in the oven, I can slide the whole parchment paper in. And then it goes right onto the baking stone, and I think the heat of the baking stone helps that bread get a big rise in the oven. But I have heard people using this recipe or similar recipes and having their bread not rise on the counter like this, but rise on a cookie sheet or something, and then putting it into a really hot oven works well too. I'm flouring this parchment sheet really well. I'm going to give these another dusting of flour. Now here's where it gets, kind of dicey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop it up. I'm going to flip it upside down. So here we go. Try to get it into its own little spot on this parchment paper. And you flip it upside down, according to the author of this recipe, to redistribute the bubbles. Again, I'm gonna just try to get it to live in its own spot. Now I'm gonna get the same little water thing I used to make it. I fill it with about a cup of warm water. Pour it into this thing. Into my little nuts and bolts thing. Shut it, get a little steam. So I just slide it on like that. Okay, so there it is in the oven after about, 2 minutes. It'll be in there about 12 minutes or so, till it's about 200 or 205 degrees internal temperature. Bang off the extra flour and put them on my rack. See? Oh, looks good. Anyway, that's it. Ciabatta. Super easy. Super delicious.